So the first thing that I want to do is I want to make sure that these cattle never consume more than 50% of the available forage dry matter in a paddock. That's very important because that assures us that we can also get the degree of trample that we want for building new soil. We protect our soil moisture and soil temperature, so we prevent significant evaporative loss. We protect our soil microbes, and that also leaves enough plant blade material and leaf material for photosynthetic activity to occur for regrowth. So all of that is very important to us. So as we look around at the impact of today's graze, I'm standing in the middle of this paddock and I'm looking at the degree of actual forage dry matter consumption as well as the degree of trample. So what we can see here is that we met their daily dry matter needs for performance for this day, but yet it is evident that we still have a good bit of forage left in this paddock. Our average height is still going to be about 10 inches. And that's very good because now we're leaving plenty of leaf material to shade and protect the ground and for that rapid regrowth. The second thing that I want though is I want to look at the degree of trample that I see in here. With the right stock densities, we're going to see quite a bit of this forage actually trampled down. Now, a lot of people may view that as waste. That is not waste. That is brand new organic matter. Organic matter is far more valuable to us than allowing the cattle to take these forages all the way down to the ground. And we want to see a nice degree of trample, and as we actually reach down and pull up some of this that was trampled down by the cattle, you can see this that was in contact with the soil is degrading and dying, and again will become new soil organic matter. Now, what we often hear though in objections to the trample is that, well, we've wasted a lot of forage and we need for our cattle to harvest more of that, and if we lay down all of that trample, then we're smothering out new growth and we're not going to get a high level of new growth. Well, we can see right here that none of that is actually true. First of all, this is far, far more valuable as new organic material than it is going into the rumen of our livestock. Secondly, as we part this sward and look through it, we can see, even as dense as this is and the degree of trample, there is a multitude of new tender growth, new shoots coming up through here. We see a lot of young clover plants coming up through here. Here's a young clover plant, and a lot of young grass coming up through here as well. So the trample absolutely does not impede, rather it encourages new growth and very rapid new growth. The honest truth is, a lot of grazers, when you come out of a paddock, they probably think you have left far too much, that you wasted a lot of grass. Exactly.
Well, so did we.
Oh, yeah.
That was our biggest.
Very hard to pull out.
That's the hardest thing for new grazers and for us at that time, was to leave grass behind. You feel like you're wasting it. Now we know, well, Judy says it all the time, that's not wasting grass. Grass makes grass. And you can leave it. If you have any questions, you don't take it all, you leave it behind and move on.
Okay, now that's a very important point. Grass makes grass. It takes grass to make grass, right? So we often say it like this: more equals more. If the more we take, the less we have, but the more we leave, the more we grow. And that again is a concept that's hard for a lot of people to initially, until they see it and experience it, it's hard for them to wrap their minds around. So this is a paddock that they've been in for about an hour now. so not very long. And you can see the level of impact in terms of degree of trample that these cattle have already made moving through this paddock. That's exactly what we're looking for here. We're looking for a reasonable degree of trample, and everywhere that they have trampled grass here, they're now going to pretty much ignore that area and continue to eat the areas that are not trampled. So we get the combination of the forage consumption and then this degree of trample. And everywhere that we have this type of trample, such as what we're seeing here, and we see manure deposits along this trample as well, you know, they're not going to come and regraze this. So this becomes new carbon, new soil organic matter. So essentially what we're doing here is we're laying down carbon and producing very rapidly, producing brand new carbon on our soil. There's no way we can simulate this through anything else that we can possibly do. Stock density itself determines the degree of impact both in trample, carbon and organic matter building, and manure and urine fertility applied across these paddocks. So these cattle again have been in here about an hour, and based on the impact that we're seeing here already, you know, these cattle can easily stay here another 2 to 4 hours without having excessive impact and then move to the next paddock for the rest of the day. So monitoring degree of trample, monitoring what they eat while they're in here, monitoring the level of manure and urine distribution as they move through this paddock are all things that we want to pay attention to. That needs to be parts of our points of observation every day while we're out here with these cattle to make sure we're getting that desired impact.